Democrats expended more independent expenditures to defeat me than any other targeted candidate in the nation. Michael Moore was in raising funds. George Soros, MoveOn.org. John Stryker. All the liberal progressive groups were in this race to defeat me. $6 million accounted. We would guess it'd be closer to $10 million that they spent to defeat me. Having done all of that, still, when Barack Obama beat McCain here, after McCain announced he was leaving this state and not going to campaign, unheard of. You just don't do that. You leave, but you don't announce it. I went from 12 points up 1 week prior to him making that announcement to 2 points up 2 weeks after he left the state. And that's tough when you have Acorn and everybody else out there getting their people out the poll. But even with that, Barack won by 6 points over McCain. Mark Schauer did 4 points worse than that in his race against me. He won by 2 points. There's only 2 candidates in the nation, 2 targeted races. Steve Chabot, great Republican conservative, class of '94, who stuck to the contract with America. He lost in Cincinnati by 3 points and still did better than the top of the ticket. I did 10,000 votes better than the top of our ticket. So that's the reason, the loss. That's why it's so different this time around. That's why I'm leading Mark Schauer by 10 points now. And we haven't had a debate yet. And I tell people, I live out in an agriculture community. I live on a gentleman's farm. We have corn growing on our property right now. And we used to have animals and all of that, and understand very clearly from experience what a pig in a poke is. Y'all know what a pig in a poke is? It's whether it's a pig or whether it's a cow or sheep or whatever. It's in the pen. You don't buy a pig in a poke. You take it out and you walk it around, make sure all 4 legs move the same direction. And the eyes see. And it snorts properly. When you purchase, as it were, an elected official, when you purchase a U.S. congressman in the sense of the voting process, not, and please, if you hear it used that I'm talking about purchasing, you understood what I was saying here with a pig in a poke. When you select a politician, if you have the opportunity to know their record and to know that that record is consistent and good and right, and more importantly, constitutional. Because I'll tell you, I will not go, even with the majority of my district, if they ask me to go against the Constitution. I promise you that. But if they don't violate the Constitution and I don't like what they want me to do, I'll go with my district, even then. Hopefully we can work together and I like what you like and it's constitutional. But that has been my record. And it's searchable. You can just ask my opponents, they'll bring it up too. I have two gentlemen, seem to be fine gentlemen, running against me in the primary. Neither of them have a record. They talk just like me. In fact, we've had a couple, 3 debates now, and the comments are made, they all sound about the same. Yeah. But what's the old saw? Boy, all these politicians sound so good. And then we elect them. What happens? And with me, that hasn't happened. And there are people in the room that could confirm that for you, including my wife, who would hold my feet to the fire if I started to go the wrong direction. So I'll go here, and then we'll go here. Did I see a hand over here?
Well, I just want to say, Congressman, that I watched you when you were running, we were in there for 2 years, and everything you're saying today is exactly the way you were running your office. You're very conservative, and maybe rest assured that he does what he says.
Yeah, well, thank you. I mean, that's why Nancy Pelosi wanted me out. That's why Rahm Emanuel wanted me out. And I was on his target list. I read his book called Thumpin'. I knew what he was going to do to me. I just hoped that I'd have the resources and the people to get out the vote. But when we saw McCain lose our base, it was like that last month of the campaign, like bouncing a ball in the mud. Get the picture? It was just frustrating because people said, McCain's not going to campaign here. Who cares? We're not going to go to the polls. We didn't like him anyway. He wasn't conservative enough. I'm saying, there are other fresh meat on the table. Hey, don't forget me. So this time I don't think that's the case. We will have a solid conservative gubernatorial candidate. I don't doubt whichever one wins. I have my preferences, but I'm sure you do as well. But any of them are going to be tough conservatives that are ready to go and do a job for Michigan, whatever it means. And they're not going to leave the state. That's going to help me.